morning, students. Today I will be teaching you about the third normal form. Before that, let's take a recap of what happened during the second normal form. This was the table student device, which was split into three different tables, which are the table student, the table device, and the table purchase. Here are those three tables: student, device, and purchase. Now see the table purchase. As the column SID has duplicate entries of S10, so it cannot be a primary key which can uniquely identify every row in the table purchase. Again, for the column DID, as it has duplicate entries of D10 and D20, so even DID cannot become the primary key which can uniquely identify every row in the table purchase. But if the columns SID and DID are combined together, then there are no duplicate entries, as can be seen in the table purchase. This is because when the columns SID and DID are combined together, then the first entry is S10D10, second entry is S20D20, third entry is S30D10, fourth entry is S40D10, and the fifth entry is S10D20. Clearly, there are no duplicates and all these entries are distinct. As a result, SID and DID taken together can become the primary key column of the table purchase, which can uniquely identify every row in the table purchase. Therefore, the quantity of device purchased by a particular student denoted by the column QTY can be determined only by the composite primary key, which is SID and DID taken together through full functional dependency, and not by the partial attributes SID or DID taken alone through partial dependency. Therefore, these tables, after getting splitted from the original table student device, falls in second normal form. Let's understand what is a third normal form. A relation or a table is said to be in third normal form if it is in second normal form and no non-key attribute is transitively dependent on the primary key, which is the key attribute. If these two conditions are satisfied, then the relation or the table will be in third normal form. In the next slide, I will show this with the help of an example. Now look at these tables: student, device, and purchase. Although these tables are in second normal form, there is a problem. The problem is that these tables are not in third normal form. Let me explain you. Just look at the table student. This table holds two pieces of information, one for the student and the other for the city-state. As SID is the primary key column of the table student, so all the rows in this table are uniquely identified by the column SID. SID, being the primary key of this table student, is also regarded as the key attribute, whereas the rest of the columns SNAME, SCity, and SState are the non-key attributes. Now the important thing is that if a key attribute determines a non-key attribute, it is acceptable. That means if the primary key column SID, which is the key attribute in the table student, determines a non-key attribute such as SNAME, SCity, or SState, it is acceptable. But if a non-key attribute determines another non-key attribute in the same table, then it is not acceptable. Now if you look at the table student, there is a column called SCT, which is not the primary key column, and so it is a non-key attribute. But this non-key attribute SCT easily determines the other non-key attribute state in the same table, as every city has a unique state. This is shown by the city Bangalore belonging to the state Karnataka, city Vizag belonging to the state Andhra Pradesh, city Shillong belonging to the state Meghalaya, and city Jaipur belonging to the state Rajasthan. As a result, SCT, a non-key attribute, determines another non-key attribute state in the same table student, and this is not acceptable. Let me tell you the reason why. Now just look at the columns SID and SCT in the table student. For every SID there is a unique city. That means for SID as S10 the city is Bangalore. For SID as S20 the city is Vizag. For SID as S30 the city is Shillong. And for SID as S40 the city is Jaipur. That's why SID, which is the key attribute in this table student, easily determines the non-key attribute SCT in the same table. And since a key attribute can easily determine a non-key attribute, so it is acceptable. But if the non-key attribute SCT determines the non-key attribute state, then the key attribute SID determines the non-key attribute state only through SCT, which is a non-key attribute. That is called transitive dependency, and it is represented with the help of the arrows in this slide. Now, check this slide. See the representations. Firstly, SID, a key attribute, determines a non-key attribute SCT. Then the non-key attribute SCT determines another non-key attribute state. As a result, through transitive dependency, SID, the key attribute, determines the non-key attribute state in the table student. When transitive dependency occurs, there will be anomalies in the table. Hence, it must be eliminated. And it can be eliminated by not allowing a non-key attribute to determine another non-key attribute in the same table. This is the representation where SCT, a non-key attribute, determines another non-key attribute state in the table student. So it must be eliminated as it gives rise to transitive dependency. Look at the diagrams in the slide. The transitive dependency has been eliminated by splitting the table student into two different tables. Those are student 2 and city state. As a result, the representation where SCT, a non-key attribute, determines another non-key attribute state in the table student has been eliminated. The column state has been moved to a different table called city state, as shown in the diagram. Therefore, in the splitted table student 2, the key attribute SID determines the non-key attribute sCity, and in the splitted table city state, sCity acts as a primary key which is regarded as the key attribute, and it easily determines the non-key attribute sState. So, in both the cases, the key attribute determines a non-key attribute which is acceptable in normalization. As a result, transitive dependency has been eliminated and the tables are in third normal form. After the table student has been split into student 2 and city state, the tables are in third normal form. Since these tables are in third normal form, the insert anomaly encountered in second normal form has been eliminated. See the new additions: Hyderabad as sCity and Telangana as sState of the table city state. This shows if you wish to insert a record Hyderabad as sCity and Telangana as sState, it can be inserted without encountering any problems, as city state is a separate table. Again, as the tables are in third normal form, the delete anomaly encountered in second normal form has also been eliminated. Now check the table student 2 with the entry SID as S20 and SName as Tushar. Now, if this student Tushar is going to New Jersey and wants to delete his name, then there is no problem at all. Even after deleting Tushar related information from the table student 2, sCity and sState related information are not lost, as these are stored in a separate table city state as shown in this slide.